ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فإن خير الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Alhamdulillah, today we are celebrating the Eid-ul-Adha as we perform the 2 rakat of Eid-ul-Adha. As Muslims, where we believe in all prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but after the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, there is only one prophet, the Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wa salam, that upon whom we not only have Iman, but we also follow him. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قَدْ كَانَتْ لَكُمْ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ فِي إِبْرَاهِيمَ. Indeed, you have a good example in Ibrahim. And also today, by celebrating this Eid, we show our strong link with Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam and his life, especially through the slaughtering the animal. But dear brothers, Eid is not just a need of doing the Qurban, eating the meat, wearing the new clothes, and giving gifts for each other. No doubt, Eid is a day of celebration. Eid is a day of enjoyment, especially for our children. But we don't have to make our Eid as a ritual celebration. Rather, we need to fulfill the purpose of Eid. And one of the purpose of this Eid is to know the personality of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam, his characteristics, and to follow his way, and to introduce the Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam to our children. Because apart from the sacrifice, many aspects of his life are great, have great lesson for us. For example, I'm giving one example. In his whole life, Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam never compromised with any kind of falsehood, especially with shirk. He always gave importance to safeguard himself from all kind of shirk, from all kind of falsehood. Even though he grew up in an atmosphere of idol worshipping, but he never accepted it. And he tried constantly to achieve the truth. And because of this, he spent all his life going through different trials. He has to leave his family. He has to leave his people, his hometown. He had to sacrifice what was beloved to him. So he became a symbol of oneness of Allah. So he became symbol of Tawheed, and in his whole life revolved around calling people towards Tawheed and the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as you know, he called his father, he started his da'wah by calling his father first, by calling his family first towards the true aqidah. And as well as, even though he was a symbol of Tawheed, he was a symbol of Tawheed, he would constantly make dua for his children, for himself, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to save them from any kind of shirk. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, he used to say, وَجَنُوبْنِي وَبَنِيَّ أَن نَعْبُدَ الْأَصْنَامِ. Oh Allah, save me and my children from any kind of idol worship. Even in his last moment of his life, he advised his children to be steadfast on Tawheed, to be steadfast on the true deen. As he said, Ya bunayya, inna Allah astafa lakum ad-din, fala tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. O my children, Allah has chosen to you the religion of Tawheed. So do not die except in a state of Islam. So brothers and sisters, today we need to follow this path of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam and not stick to traditions and methods of our own family and society. As we see how many traditions, how many bid'ahs, and how many acts of shirk we have among us today, in our family, in our homes, which totally contradict with the true Islam, which totally contradict with the true Aqidah of Islam. So we need to try to find the truth, and that rather than sticking to traditions. Otherwise, we will not be able to present any excuse to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment. And among the characteristics of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam was that he was a true Muslim, with full meaning, with whole meaning of Islam, and that is total submission to Allah. He submitted himself to Allah, to His commands, to His deen. That's why he happily accepted every command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For example, when he raised a voice against all evil in his society, his people decided to kill him by burning him alive. And at that time, he submitted himself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by saying, Hasbi Allahu wa ni'mal wakeel. Hasbi Allahu wa ni'mal wakeel. Allah alone is sufficient for me, and He is the best disposer for all affairs. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed him with a son, Ismail, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded him to leave his wife, to leave his son in the middle of the desert where there was no food, where there was no water, where there was no life. And still he said that I submit myself to the commands of my Lord and His commands. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded him to sacrifice his only one son, still he did not hesitate, nor did he question. He was happy with Allah's command and submitted himself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah, Wallahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, walillahi alhamd. Anyhow, Ibrahim alayhi salatu was salam passed away thousands of years ago, brothers. But his message and his effects of his good deeds stay alive, and shall remain alive till the day of judgment. We are here. We pray 2 rakat of Salatul Duha for Eid-ul-Adha, and we do Qurbani just because Ibrahim alayhi salatu was salam as his sunnah. And we have to remember, whoever follows him until the day of judgment, they will be rewarded. And Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam also get the same reward till the day of judgment. Because whatever deeds we do in this life, good or bad, their effects remain even after our death. These good deeds or these bad deeds will remain even after. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna nahnu nuhyi al-mawta wa naktubu ma qaddamu wa atharahum وَكُلَّ شَيْءٍ أَحْصَيْنَاهُ فِي إِمَامٍ مُبِينٍ. Verily we shall give life to the dead, and we record that which they said before and that which they leave behind. What does that mean of this ayah? It means that we will not only be held to account for the deeds that we do in this life, but we also will be held for the effects of our deeds that we will leave behind after our death. For example, if we are, as the parents, if we do good deeds and if we are pious, and these good deeds and its effects will transfer to our children and others as well around them, and this might continue long after our death in many generations to come. And as long as this process continues, the reward of these parents will continue to increase. Likewise, if someone leaves a track of evil deeds, it will continue into their other generations. And as long as people follow, his children, grandchildren follow any act of evil deed, they will be sinful. And those people will get the same sin even after the death, who have left behind the bad effects. So brothers and sisters, the fortunate one is he who died, but his good deeds remain alive after his death. And the misfortunate person who is died, but still his evil deeds alive even after his death. So bearing in this in our mind, we should think that one day we will die. So what will we leave behind? Are we leaving good deeds that which increase in our rewards even after our death? Or we are leaving our sinful life and its effects that will be added to our record even after our death? And the main and the most important thing that we are going to leave behind is our children, whom we can make our remaining good deeds, al-baqiyat al-salihat, or remaining bad deeds, al-baqiyat al-sayyi'at. Of course, we all want our children to be our baqiyat al-salihat, to be righteous, coolness of our eyes, obedient to their parents. But just having desire is not enough until we practically do our best for this. And for this, if we want to see our children as a good Muslim, if you want to see our children righteous, then first make yourself a good role model for them. We need to make ourselves a good role model. Anyhow, we know that parents are always a role model for their children. So it's your choice whether you be good role model for them or bad role model for them. And if you become good role model for them, then they will be obedient to you. And will be the coolness of your eyes, and they will be means of raising your status in the hereafter. Otherwise, they will be a means of punishment even after your death. So if you want to make yourself a good role model for them, so first you need to correct your aqidah. You need to correct our belief in Allah, in Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you have to make your aqidah free any kind of shirk, any kind of bid'ah, and make yourself establish prayer and stay attached to the masajid and keep good company of friends and relatives and always maintain a good character. Obviously, your children will follow you. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Wallahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Walillahi alhamd. And one of the important part of our Eid days today is sacrificing the animal, Qurbani. As we know that according to the hadith, Man kana lahu si'atun falam yudhahi fala yaqrubanna musallana. The ulama say that it is obligatory upon every person who can afford it. As the Prophet ﷺ said in this hadith, he who is able to offer Qurbani and he does not offer it, then he should not come near the place of our Eid prayer. And one Qurbani is sufficient for each family, for each household. And in this regard, we shall be aware of certain things, brothers. Number one, we need to do Qurbani just for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not for show off, not for as a tradition. Whatever we do the one Qurbani, we have to make our intention that I am doing Qurbani just for the sake of Allah. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ. Pray just for the sake of Allah and do Qurbani just for the sake of Allah. Some people, they do the Qurbani without any intention because they think that is a tradition to do the Qurbani on Eid day, just as a tradition. And some people, they do to show off, and by this they lose the reward of their Qurbani. And second thing is that some people have mixed up the Qurbani with sadaqah, with charity. So what they do, they spend some money as a charity in the poor Muslim brothers and sisters, whereas it's totally wrong. The actual sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ is to sacrifice, slaughter the animal, to do the Qurban. And as well as another thing is, we have to try to do Qurbani where we live with our family, so that we can eat the meat, and as well as you can introduce your children, your coming generation, what is the Qurbani, what is the background of the Qurbani. And you also, the other thing is you also do Qurbani on behalf of your parents, but in addition to your own qurbani first. There are lots of people who they do qurbani on behalf of their parents, but they do the qurbani for themselves. The qurbani is fard on the people who they are living here, the living people, not for the dead people. Yes, if you want to do the qurbani for your parents, you can do the qurbani additionally, but it is better. You can do that, you make the intention to include your parents in your own qurbani. And as well as you should know that qurbani should be offered after we have prayed our Eid Salah. The Prophet ﷺ said, the qurbani offered before the Salah will be considered as sadaqah, as charity. It is not a qurbani. And as well as the meat of qurbani should be eaten, given to others, and can also be stored for later. The Prophet ﷺ, he used to eat the qurbani meat, give in sadaqah, and also save some. Anyhow, brothers and sisters, there are lots of lessons that we have to learn about Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidun Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidun Majid. May Allah accept our qurbani and all our good deeds and make this Eid a Eid of blessing and happiness for all Muslims, and make all of us firm on our aqidah. Save us from all kind of shirk, all kind of bid'ah. May Allah show us the straight path, the path of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the path of Sahaba. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. اللهم إنا نسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى. اللهم إنا نسألك فعل الخيرات وترك المنكرات وحب المساكين. اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين. اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين. اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم تقبل منا صالح أعمالنا. اللهم تقبل منا صالح الأعمال ووفقنا لما تحبه وترضى. اللهم ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. اللهم ثبت قلوبنا على طاعتك. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. عيد مبارك.